Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, May 23rd, and took a little bit of time and reflected on a hot topic that I seem to be getting asked a lot lately. So I figured I'd put out another episode real quick describing the question and the answer, and hopefully it gives a little bit of value to you guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Charles. I am the director of 4080 Spirits Group, also known as Liquor CEO, because this channel is all about it, getting you into the liquor space as a business, as a viable enterprise, creating your brand and your product, and seeing you flourish and succeed. I really put out a lot of videos here with a lot of content. At least I think it's good quality content. If you guys find value in it, do me a favor. Definitely subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave some comments, ask questions. Those are actually what I look to get ideas and topics for the next video that I'm going to do. So I'm on social media, Instagram, all that good stuff. I'll put the links down below so you guys can take a look at it and follow if you'd like, and you can ask me questions there as well. So let's get into it real quick. One big question that seems there's a lot of confusion around is to what types of licenses do I need to have someone else make my brand, or to get into this space? What types of licenses do I need to have? So I did a video previously about the three-tiered system in the United States. I'm not going to really go into it too detailed, other than to know that in the United States there's a federally mandated three-tiered system. There's the supplier side, there's the wholesaler side, and then there's the retailer side. So tier 1 is a supplier. Think distillery, brewery, winery. Tier 2 is the wholesaler side. Think importer, wholesaler, distributor. And tier 3 is your retailer. And those are typically buckled down into two types of accounts: on-premise or off-premise. Off-premise are retail. On-premise is bars, restaurants, clubs, lounges, etc. Could be an argument that there's another one called e-premise, which is your e-com platforms. They tend to be a variant of the retail level, so not really too much to get in there. So that's a quick 100,000 foot view of what it is in the three-tiered system in the United States. What we really need to understand now is, if you come to me or you go anywhere and you say, hey, I want to make a brand, I want to make a product, I want to make a vodka, I want to make a canned cocktail, what licenses do I need to have as the person who is giving you the idea to make it? Well, number one, you're not the producer. Believe it or not, you are not the producer. You're the brand owner in terms of the intellectual property and all of that good stuff, the brand name, but you're not the producer. The producer is actually going to be the distillery or the co-packer who actually makes it, bottles it, produces it for you. So they already have their DSP, their distilled spirits producer's permit. So everything is going to fall under that. To the extent that it needs a formulation to be approved, it has to be submitted to the portal online via that permit holder. To the extent that it needs a label approval, they do, it's going to have to, again, be submitted through the COLA's online, Certificate of Label Approval, the COLA online system, through their permit number. So they're going to make it. Where it gets a little tricky is what happens next. So remember, this is an alcohol product, a liquor product. So there are regulations as far as who can hold it and who can be in possession, who can be entitled of it. So understanding that tier 1 sells to tier 2, tier 2 sells to tier 3, and tier 3 sells to the consumer, it goes to reason that it goes the other way. Tier 3 can only buy from, consumers can only buy from retailers, retailers can only buy from distributors, distributors can only buy from other distributors and producers, wineries, breweries, etc., etc. So there's that. So when you look at the licenses you may want to have, you need to look at this through the lens of, where do I fit into the equation? And the answer here is really, where do you fit into the transaction of where does this get made, who does it get sold to, and how do you get paid? Remember, when you go to a distillery or a co-packer and have them make something for you, you are paying them to make it for you. You are the customer at that point, okay? From there, it needs to go from the distillery to a wholesaler. How it gets there can be one of a couple of different ways. The distillery can usually send it and they can be paid, and then they can turn around and pay you. Not a big fan, to be frank with you, of being third party to your revenue, but that may work for some people. I usually recommend that people consider getting themselves a wholesaler's permit. Just because you get a wholesaler's permit does not mean you need to be the next breakthrough Southern Glazers or distributor. You can be a wholesaler just on paper, licensed accordingly to hold your own title to property, to your inventory, so that you could sell it to the wholesaler in your market that you want to get to, and get paid yourself. So I usually recommend that people get the wholesaler's permit so they could actually house and warehouse their inventory. And in some states you can use public warehousing, so you can have a contractual relation to be charged a per pallet fee if that's what you want. But you are going to need that permit. You're going to need a federal permit and a state permit to be able to do that. It's not cheap. In Florida, it can be anywhere between $4,000 or $5,000 to get that KLD permit, and there are requirements as to what you need to meet in order to be able to qualify for that permit. In other states, Maryland, it's a little more relaxed where you could do certain things. So you need to look at the business model that you're going to go to, where you plan on launching, activating, and creating a system that fits well for your model that you want to pursue. So you do not need a distilled spirit, nor could you get a distilled spirits producer's permit, a brewery permit, or a winery permit unless you are actually going to set up one of those types of establishments, which is a lot of money. So just because you're creating a product and a brand does not mean you by default need to have a DSP permit. You very likely cannot get it unless you're going to take that step, that last mile, which is the longest mile, and creating a distillery or a brewery or a winery. So someone else is going to do that. So all the other regulatory items are going to fall under that particular permit holder. And then you will set yourself up as a wholesaler at the federal and state level so that you could then purchase from the distillery who's making your product, warehouse it, and then you can effect the sale to the distributor in every state or market that you want to actually distribute in. And like I said, that's important because then when that distributor in that market that you want to get into buys the product from you, they're dealing with you. They're paying you. You're paying money back into the system for marketing, for activation, for POS. But it's all through you. Nothing has to go back through that tier 1 person because remember, tier 1 sells to 2, tier 2 buys from tier 1. So it has to be that way. Tier 2 can also buy from another tier 2, which is where you fit in if you have your wholesaler permit. So take that for what it's worth. Hope that's a little quick introduction into the 3-tiered system. Like I said, I have another video somewhere in the queue there in the history of what it means to be tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. But that's a question I've been getting a lot lately as far as what license do I need as a brand holder or as someone who wants to create a brand and get into the game. What licenses do I need? So there's a quick answer. Liquor.ceo on Instagram. Give me a follow, give me a like. Love the videos. Send me a note. Let me know what you think. Best of luck to you guys. And I'm going to cheers you this morning with coffee because it's early and I'm just getting a few thoughts out of my head. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great day.